he knows so much more than me about so many things, but nowhere near as much as me about boxing and the business. So I'm always comfortable debating that with him.
Pro boxing fans here in London after the weigh-in, AJ versus Helenius. Bit spicy, that one. I didn't expect that.
Very. No, I liked it though, because obviously there's always the danger that the mojo's a bit flat after the Dillian White news, and I like the fact that Helenius, you know, was giving him the ice cold Nordic stare and wouldn't take his eyes off him, and AJ just basically asked, do you want to fight now? And you'll see it on the behind the scenes, but nice and spicy, and I think AJ needs that intent tomorrow night, and we want to see it, and he's bang up for it.
A couple of things I was watching from the Pain game by the true Geordie. He's saying that, listen, Eddie can't keep selling AJ like this. After the Franklin fight, he did a little thing and he said, Eddie can't keep selling AJ like the fighter he was. He's only had 1 KO in 6 fights. Is there a different approach towards AJ nowadays, or can you sell him as old AJ?
I've never said he's the same AJ in terms of the way he fights, but he's just a smarter fighter. Like, people have to understand that fighters evolve. When you're a young kid and you don't really know if you can go past 3 rounds and you hurt someone, a lot of those finishes that he would do early on would be reckless. And as you fight better opposition, tougher opposition, if you fight like that, you're putting yourself at risk a lot. Now, I know the fans quite like that, but if you look at Vladimir Klitschko, who, you know, early on in his career would get knocked out by Lamont Brewster and people like that, he changed his style and become nearly unbeatable. But let's see what he does tomorrow night. You know, I feel like he's going to be nice and aggressive tomorrow night, but we shall see. Everything will be crossed.
You also spoke about AJ's mental strength. You've been around AJ. Is he mentally stronger than ever for this fight, coming into this fight?
Mate, to be a fighter, to become a 2-time unified world heavyweight champion, to deal with what he's dealt with in his life, you have to be mentally strong. You can't, you know, but you can see these people that talk about he's not mentally strong. See how they get on, you know, in a fight, right? Dealing with what AJ deals with. Mentally fine. You know, been through adversity, been through tough times like everybody. It's not always what you see on Instagram. You know what I mean? But he loves the sport and he's been preparing well with Derek James, and you know, he's ready to put on a great performance.
I never got to catch it out there, the TalkSport Live, but it seemed that you and Simon were having a little bit of a back and forth. What happened this time?
It just started again. You know, he wanted to explain the downtime of what happened. Like, obviously, it was a bad moment for him when he got, I'll say exposed, but he was wrong. And he wanted to try and explain why he was wrong and what happened. It was a bad move going back then. I just had to go over it again, you know. But look, I think that this is entertainment. When you listen to a radio show, you don't want me to go on there and just be bland and boring. You want to see fireworks, so I'll give you that. But you know, I respect Simon, and he knows so much more than me about so many things, but nowhere near as much as me about boxing and the business. So I'm always comfortable debating that with him. He's much smarter than me, I believe, but not about boxing, and he's never going to out-talk me on boxing. It's impossible.
I was interviewing him and then Frank Smith stepped in and they had the back and forth. So yeah, they've had it's a bit of a good view. So on the channel you can watch. They were just going back and forth saying things that were said in the past, and yeah, it was good viewing actually. So that was spicy. That was great to put on the channel. Want to talk about Conor Benn? Is it? I want to ask you, has there been talks with Kell Brook about this fight? There was rumours.
Always, but we want to get that licence by the British Boxing Board of Control. I want to see him back in the ring, but I do like the Kell Brook fight, and I think that has potential.
Just a quick couple I need to reel off. Andy Cruz, well, what's the latest?
He'll fight, looks like October, just getting ready with his new opponent now. Could be on the Devin Haney big card. But yeah, looking forward to seeing him back in the ring.
Edgar Berlanga.
Want him to fight Jaime Munguia. You know, that's the fight. We're in negotiations. The Zone have told us that's the fight they want to see, and fingers crossed we can get it made.
Latest with Bam Bam and Sonny Edwards, what's going on with that?
Yeah, it looks like December on the West Coast, but I think the official announcement for that will come tomorrow night.
Actually, I want your thoughts on Tommy Fury KSI. How does that one play out?
I don't know really. KSI has surprised me. I think I've underestimated him a few times, and I think he's really dedicated himself, and I think he's improving. The jury's still out on Tommy Fury at what level he's actually at. He scraped through against Jake Paul, which is never a good sign, but on paper he should be beating KSI, but KSI's a bit awkward, he's fast, and good luck to them both.
Jake Paul calling out Canelo. What do you make of it? Is it just ambitious or is it just good tactics?
Can you imagine what would happen in that fight?
You know, boxing's crazy. Could it ever happen?
Maybe. It shouldn't be allowed. It's dangerous, really dangerous. really dangerous. But listen, funny things happen.
Eddie, and always a pleasure. Thank you very much.